All right, welcome to the Ugandan Stance. Uganda Cranes has been knocked out of the Chan tournament by Senegal in a game that was played at the National Stadium. When I was on radio today, one of my friends, Bullet, told me that Uganda is going to be knocked out. But I really had huge hopes that we are obviously going to be knocking out a team known as Senegal, but obviously they came in with the experience, and Uganda had a very beautiful display, and we couldn't obviously find ourselves in a position of really winning this game. Omar Ba in the 62nd minute went ahead, obviously score against Uganda, and I tell you what, we couldn't obviously raise back to obviously stop a team known as Senegal from really doing what they did to us. So smash like button, comment and share. Our journey comes to an end, and it's not only for Uganda but for all the hosts. They couldn't surpass the quarter final. That is it. It's really very shocking that a side like Uganda couldn't obviously surpass the quarter final, because going to the semi-finals would have gone ahead, obviously taking them to the next huge money bracket that maybe the players would have gone ahead to enjoy in there for you. But there are some factors that are really so, and I think our manager Molivio Kwaso looked a little bit naive for the occasion, because when you set him like Senegal, letting you attack them, and really have the ball, you have to get to note it that you use all those chances and obviously make them really feel the heat. If you don't, then they'll obviously have to come and really put you in a proper position altogether and really do the needful and really put you down. That is the side of Senegal. So the Uganda Cranes went ahead to really put in that required shift in there, but they couldn't obviously break that central defense of Senegal. And I think we just lacked some little bit of composure, because in the first half, Pande was played in a lot, and he really had 1v1, sometimes never really had space, but all he could do was to run into players. That was really my worry about him, that how could you run into a player when they've gone ahead obviously give you, right? When they've gone ahead obviously give you that space, And this is where I was like, if I'm the manager, I bring on Kakande beginning of the second half, because we also to it that Mpande, even when he really chopped to the right or chopped inside, he couldn't really find a perfect ball. There is a time when you remember that time when what's the strike of Uganda Cranes that really went ahead to get injured? Jude Semogabi. When Jude Semogabi got injured, in that move, Mpande got a ball and Alan Okello was really placed alone, and Mpande went ahead obviously do a blind pass. He passed where Alan Okello is coming from, meaning that he was already timid for the occasion. And I think Kakande and his arrogance and aura and the demeanor in that game would have gone ahead to do something different in there for the Uganda Cranes in there. And I like the midfield. Selunjoji and Sebagala, they really went ahead to control that midfield. And Watambala also played very well. But the problem was, what was the game plan? In a game like this, you will not eat that your man like Okello will obviously be stopped from really playing. You understand? If your man like Okello will be stopped from playing, then you know exactly what will happen. You understand? What will happen was simple. They won't really allow him play. So what is your plan? Plan A, Bachi, in such situations when your player is not allowed to play. That's where we obviously have to come in and really ask ourselves. But I think we all got it wrong as a side of Uganda. But all in all, better luck, and let's prepare for the FIFA Club World Cup qualifiers that are really going to be played. That is, I think it's in September, right? That's when you're obviously gonna see these teams really play. But hard luck for Uganda. I really loved the team, but all you have to do is, how do we keep this team intact? And to these players, when they go back to the Uganda Premier League, how are they really gonna act and behave? I know lots of things are really gonna be said You understand, especially concerning the money, that the players were out because they never got the money or what. And we obviously have to send an alarm to you, Mr. Magogo, that let these players get their money that they played for. They they went ahead and really played how many games? 5 games, right? After playing 5 games, they really won 3, you know. I think they really saw themselves win 2. They drew 1 and they lost 2. Can they really have their game? You know, can they really have their money? That's where we are supposed to obviously be as a side of the Uganda Cranes. But these are the stats as I really look for the fixtures of the Uganda Premier League, because I want to see these players really putting in a very huge shift. 16 shots by Uganda, 7 by Senegal, 5 shots on target by Uganda, 3 shots by Senegal, 59% ball possession by Uganda. Senegal had 41% ball possession, 387 passes completed by the side of Senegal. Uganda. Senegal completed 280, then 74% passing accuracy and 69% passing accuracy for Senegal. Uganda had 74, 18 fouls for Uganda, 7 fouls for Senegal. It shows you that we lost this ball a lot. 3 yellow cards to Uganda, 2 to Senegal, 0 red cards to both sides. 1 offside to Uganda, 0 to Senegal, 9 corners for Uganda and 5 corners for the side of Senegal. So for Uganda, it's hard luck only, and I wish these players the best of the best as they obviously get back to play into what we call the Premier League. And we've been told FIFA recently had a consultative meeting with the Uganda Premier League to forge ways of improving the competition both on the pitch and off the pitch. In this meeting, the clubs were told that FIFA Executive Committee had an idea of creating a new playing format for the league, which would commence with the immediate effect, which is 2025-2026 season. Today, FIFA, through its CEO Edgar Watson, sent a circular to clubs explaining the new changes that are not only limited to fixtures but also include areas such as data, player registration, and financial benefits. In this article, Kawowo explains new changes as follows. First division shall comprise of 16 teams. This is the same number of teams that took part into the season of 2024-2025. So this is the season that is going to be starting after this after the CHAN is going to come to an end. The first division league shall be played over a season in 3 rounds. All right, all teams shall play 1 leg format to determine the ranking of positions. There shall be a draw conducted to determine which teams play against the other at home, away in round 1. The top 8 ranked teams at the end of round 1 shall qualify for Group 1 at round 2. The bottom 8 teams at the end of round 2 shall qualify for Group 2 at round 2. So, they say Group 1, 8 teams, and Group 2 will be having 8 teams, shall play a full league format on a basis of home and away. The top 6 ranked teams of Group 1 shall qualify for the 3rd round to play in Group 3, while the bottom 2 teams shall end in a session in position 7 and 8 of the season respectively. The bottom 6 ranked teams of Group 2 shall qualify for round 3 to play in Group 4, while the top 2 ranked teams shall end the season in position 9 and 10 of the season in there. So, that is it. So, this season, the format has obviously gone ahead to change, you know, and they're telling us the fixtures. Uganda Premier League matches shall be played as single header or double header fixtures. Double header fixtures shall mean when matches of 2 UPL clubs are hosted in one venue with 2 to 3 hours between the kickoff. UPL will determine which matches may be played as double headers. The UPL may change the venue of a match in order to organize a double header. UPL has exclusive decisions on which fixtures shall be single-headed or double-headed. Matches of double-header will be determined and communicated with the release of the fixture. UPL may, within a period of 14 days, combine single-header fixtures into double fixtures. You know, So this is where we are. And they're like, FIFA shall provide 500 million grand prize monies for the first division league shared. 20 million. So whoever wins the first round will take 20 million. Whoever wins the second round will take 30, and third round will take 50. That is 100 million prize for a team that really does that. You understand? So let's wait and see how this format really goes on. But they say get collection. Gross takings of the match shall be declared. Any failure to comply to false fiction of the information submitted shall cause application of corrective measures by FIFA. There shall be a fixed amount to spend as operate costs. You know, for the double header fixtures, UPL shall determine and issue the amount to be considered for the operational costs. When the mandatory taxes and operations costs have been deducted, the remaining amount shall be referred to the shareable revenue. So the home team takes 85%, UPL takes 5%, FIFA takes 5%, and the winner takes 5%. For double header fixtures, the shared revenues shall be shared like this: home team 1 to 35%, home to team 2 to 35%, away team will get 1 to 5%, then away team, all right, UPL 5% as usual. In case of a draw, the winner percentage is reverted to the home team. So this is the format that these players that have been playing in China obviously going to be getting back in, and I think that the league will obviously start very soon. Rokani David is my name. That's what I had to do for the Uganda Cranes, and thank you for obviously supporting this channel. Uganda Cranes knocked out, but we are a team that at least has gone ahead obviously show some talent, and I think now Ugandan people now have a reason to watch the league, because one will be like, Joel Mutakwa plays for which team? I have to go and really see him. Torach, the captain at Vipers, and Mukundane, our Tambala, and a player called Alan Okello all play for Vipers. Now we have a reason to obviously go and continue following up on Alan Okello. And I think it was good advertisement for the Uganda Premier League. These players should be put on billboards, and these players, we should encourage people to follow these players on their socials and really get to know when these players obviously going to be playing games. You understand? Serunjoji KCC, that's what he really plays for, and we all know how things are really going on as planned. So guys, I'm out. Bye-bye. See you later. I'm going to the Rokani Media Football to obviously do a live stream of Uganda over Arsenal demolishing a team known as Leeds. We out. Bye-bye and good night.